Hi guys, welcome back. It's a flat market, but we have a couple of corporates waiting by patiently, so let's go straight to them. IDBI Bank has posted a 9th consecutive quarter of net loss, and asset quality is the worst amongst the Indian commercial banks. Rakesh Sharma, who's the MD and CEO of the bank, joins in now to analyze whether there's any recovery in sight at all. Mr. Sharma, thanks so much for joining us. First, I want to start by asking you, when do you think you would get out of the PCA framework and how? Because your net NPA still stands very elevated at over 14%.
Yes, the PCA, as you know, today IDBI Bank is in threshold 3, and there are 4 parameters are there. As far as capital is concerned, we are today complied with. Now the second is leveraging, that is also we have complied with the parameters. Only 2 are there which are remaining. One is net NPA. So there is improvement from 17.30, it has declined to 14.0%. And our target is that by 31st March we should be able to bring it down to below 12%, means from threshold 3 we will move to threshold 2. And the next quarter also, June and September, our target will be to reduce it gradually, so that by September on this parameter also we stand complied with. It will be below 6%. Then remain the 4th parameter, so profitability part. Once this, the NPA parameter stands complied with, by that time we are quite hopeful that our PCR, which is now 75%, which improved to almost 85%. So that way no further additional provision will be required. So there also from the next quarter onwards we will start earning profit. So that means, the next 2 to 3 quarters will come out of PCA, but in between gradually there will be improvement.
Your annualized slippage ratio is still quite high. When do you see the additional slippages starting to decline?
Now the slippage ratio for this quarter is 1.69%. So almost, yes, 5%. But some surprises keep on coming. But one thing is clear, that even those surprises which are coming, these are very small level. So that way gradually position is improving. If you see September quarter, our slippages were one of the lowest in the previous quarter. Now this one again there is further decline is there. So next quarter onwards, quarter on quarter, we feel that gradually I think annualized slippages will be able to reduce below 2.5 to 3%.
I also want to talk about how the business shrinkage continues. What's your guidance now for investors? How do you think the rest of the year would shape up?
Now, your first question was on PCA. So same way, because we are in threshold 3, so there are restrictions on business growth. Corporate advances we cannot grow. So we are only growing in retail. So that has indirectly helped us also to improve our, corporate to retail ratio, which earlier, about 2 years back, it was corporate was 70% and retail was 30. Now it has improved to corporate around 52 and retail 48. In retail we are growing. If you see total pure retail, we have grown by 10% YOY, and in if you take retail, SME and agriculture also, there is 5% growth is there. Where shrinkage is happening is mainly in corporate advance, but that is one, of course, as per RBI guidelines, and second, it is by design.
Okay, Mr. Sharma, if you can tell us what is the latest on the IDBI federal stake sale? What is the timeline you're looking at, and are there enough buyers? You think that the federal piece will be able to attract any buyers, because now the bank assurance network is not there?
Yeah, one is of course that because of our this LIC becoming the promoter, in any case we have to sell it. But even before that we had put this IDBI Federal Insurance on sale also, because we wanted to monetize this asset. You are right, that with our new strategy that we will not be offering this banca platform to them, so it may affect some value, but not that the buyers may not be available. There will be certain buyers will be there, maybe who can buy this without this banca platform also. But let us see, we are trying, and our target is within next 5 to 6 months we should be able to monetize this asset.
Are the buyers who may be interested?
It will not be proper for me to give any name, but yes, it can be bank also, it can be other institution who are having some alliance with some banks with banca platform. So it depends. So basically it will not be proper for me to give the particular name, because this price discovery and open offer, so we will follow the open process, a very transparent process. So whosoever buyer comes and who gives us the maximum value, we will sell it.
Can you help us with some sort of a timeline for the mutual fund stake sale? I mean, would we look at anything in 2019 itself?
There also, like these two companies, IDBI Federal and as well IDBI Mutual Fund, our timeline is about 5 to 6 months. We should be able to monetize these assets.
Oh, okay, that's good to hear. What is the NCLT exposure for you in list 1 and in list 2, and how much have you provided? What's the provision coverage ratio on your NCLT assets?
The list 1 and list 2 both taken together, our outstanding is around 24,000 crore, and in both we are holding PCR of almost provisions of 80%. So it is quite reasonable, and I don't think we will be required to provide any additional provision. 80% is quite reasonable.
And what are the key NCLT recoveries that you are expecting this quarter?
The total, we are expecting total recovery of around 4,500 crore in this Q4, and majority of course will be around 3,500 will be through NCLT, and big names so this for around 4,500 we are expecting, and then again next year I am expecting recovery of 10 to 12,000 total recovery. Out of that, major 7,000 to 8,000 will be through NCLT.
Okay. All right, sir. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. Hopefully, the bank is troughing out in terms of recognizing difficult assets and perhaps recovery from NCLT also.
Okay. By the way, just want to point out interesting, a couple of interesting stocks in the F&O market. I think Chennai Petro was interesting because just about 15 minutes back, there was a 130% jump in open interest. I don't know if it was a fat finger error or whatever. And then immediately that got cut, and now the stock is at the high point of the day. That was quite interesting. Just looking at the stock, and PNB ahead of numbers is up about 4%. It can be a bit of a tough play, but 4% higher on the stock right now. Ashwini is back with us, so is Mitesh, and Prakash Gaba joins us in studios. Ashwini, your thoughts? It's been a nothing kind of market, at least for the first hour. Is there a trade on the index, or is it just about individual stocks for now?
Well, the first half an hour shows you that 10,950 has again held on. I think that 50 points extra on the day of the budget was just an overshoot. Yesterday's strong stocks are kind of giving up. Reliance is almost losing all its gains, TCS, HDFC. So it's a good time to take some short positions. I would think that the market is likely to give up ground, not sharply, but a ranging market 10,820, 10,950, that types. And for the moment, what was holding up the index is not doing as well. What is up is what got smashed up yesterday. So that way, the large cap indices may have selling pressure. So Nifty, Bank Nifty, both can be sold here. Having said that, Indiabulls Housing is a sell with a stop of 655, target of 630. UPL is a buy with a stop of 778, target of 800. And Axis Bank is a buy with a stop of 720, target of 745.
Oh yes, in fact, we should get our attention back to Axis Bank. It's a new high that Axis Bank has hit, 52-week high. And just look at the move that Axis Bank has seen from the lows of 530 in October. It's gone now all the way up to 726. So that's a 40% move that Axis Bank has seen from its lows in just the last few months. Mitesh Thakkar and Prakash Gaba are also with us. Prakash, would you also concur that it's still worth buying Axis at the 720 level? And what are the other stocks that you'd be looking at today?
Well, I think Axis has shown some kind of attraction this morning and looks like it is a buy. I would say that the only thing is have a stop somewhere closer below 707 and let it go out. perhaps if it runs, 740 would be the target. I have a feeling that Bank Nifty is just trying to consolidate. Maybe a bit dip could be a buying opportunity. Maybe we can see an up move. So Axis would certainly benefit.
Okay.
I have two stocks, both on the long side. One is Hero Motors, seeing a good up move on the day of the budget. Looks like it's some kind of a consolidation is going on. Up move to around 3,000 is still on. Stop below 2,700 should be fine. A good up move is possible in Hero. I also like Escorts. Escorts seen some good traction this morning. Looks like target on the upside is in the vicinity of around 7,700 zones. Stop below 675 should be okay.
Okay, thanks for that, Prakash. Mitesh, what are you trading at 10?
So I have one buy and one sell, both on the finance side. Cholafin, I think, looks like might gain strength, so that's a buy. Keep a stop below 12, 13, 12 levels and look for 12, 70, 75 as the target. And Bajaj Finserv is a sell with a stop at 6105 for targets of 5750.
Okay, Jubil, now back to the morning lows. Ashwani, thoughts on the stock? It's been in a bull market of its own. Today, of course, driven by news, down 4%. Is this a buying opportunity, or you think this can be actually a trigger for some correction?
See, today Bata is also correcting. Basically, it's this 10,950. At this point, people want to take profits off wherever they've made money. I think if we get to lower levels, you will find buying coming back, because this is the space which is outperforming. So my sense is by afternoon, a lot of these outperformers will start to correct. I would think at dips, all this should be bought into the Bata, Pidilite, Jubilant, maybe closer to say 10, 600, 650. This is the first group that you would buy into.
Okay. Well, there are two stocks which we used to discuss a goodish bit in the mid-cap space until recently. Mitesh, your thoughts on specialty food, specialty restaurants, as well as NIIT Technologies. Those stocks, those were the mid-caps that were exciting 2 weeks back.
See, NIIT Technology, I think, remains pretty strong, and it had the highest ever weekly closing at 1406. That's my target area for this stock. So I think it might still hit those levels if we give it another 2-3 weeks of time. It's been rising for the last 4 weeks, so maybe a couple of weeks of sideways action could happen, but I think it's heading towards 1406, towards Feb end or maybe mid-March. Coming to specialty, I think it had good jump up after the numbers, and it's given a pullback since then. It's close to about support levels of 88, so maybe somebody can attempt to trade with a stop below 88, but otherwise the structure isn't very great. You might not get much of a movement, but from here it can go up to about possibly 9900, and 88, if it gets broken out, the stock will lose the uptrend.
Okay, just bizarre move happening in a couple of NBFCs, Shriram Transport and Piramal Enterprises. Just pull out both these stocks. Is this short covering or anything else? I don't know, but Shriram Transport is now up 2.5%, and Piramal Enterprises, where we saw a lot of selling yesterday, has also moved to the high point. And in both cases, in fact, the futures rate are up more than the cash rate, indicating a short covering. So that's a bit of an interesting move happening.
All right, well, we'll thank our guests for joining us and taking us through the technicals of the market. For now, it's absolutely flat, but one stock on our radar is Dena Bank. The net losses continue to pile up for the bank. 8 quarters in a row now. Net loss of almost 5,000 crores. In fact, in excess of that for the last 13 quarters. Karnam Sekar, the MD and CEO of the bank, joins us now to talk about that. Mr. Sekar, thanks so much for joining us. If you can just start by telling us whether there is any improvement that you expect to see in asset quality going ahead. This time around, there was a minor improvement, but how are things looking for the rest of the fiscal?
See, as compared to September 18, December 18, there is a huge improvement. See, September 18, our NPA was 16,140 crores. September end, we have ended at 16,140 gross NPA. But in December quarter, we have almost reduced by 3,000 crores. So, from which was 23% gross NPA as at the end of September, it has come down to 19.77 as at the end of December. So, there is a huge reduction in the gross NPA. Similarly, from net NPA also 11% to 10% we have been able to reduce. So, asset quality in Dena Bank in the last quarter has been very significantly, it has improved. And this we have done without compromising on the PCR. PCR actually 65 at the end of September, and it has improved to 66 at the end of December. And in fact, if you see the PCR of December 17 to December 18, it is almost 10% improvement.
Okay, okay.
So in all fronts, December quarter has been very good for Dena Bank. And March quarter, we propose to reduce another 2,000 to 3,000 crores. So our objective, we have after the announcement of amalgamation, we thought Dena Bank we will reduce it. Gross NPA will bring it down less than 10,000 crores, 9999.
Okay.
And that is on a mission mode we have launched in the bank. And out of that 6,000 crores reduction, we have done 3,000 in the quarter ending December, and another 3,000 we propose to recover in the month quarter ending March 19.
Okay. Good morning, Mr. Shekhar.
And of course, profit net loss was 400 crores in September. Yeah, morning.
Good morning. Sorry, sir. I was just wanting to ask you.
So
You know,
loss was September 8.
No, we have the loss numbers. I wanted to ask you a little more about the current quarter, because this is the last quarter when it will be Dena Bank. After that, you are part of the amalgamated entity. So what targets have you set yourself? This is a very good recovery number also that you have, about 1,400, almost 1,500 crores. Will that be what you all will be aiming for?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to tell. Okay. From 16,140, we have targeted 9,999 by March 19. So out of that, we have reached 12,998 by December 18. So another 3,000 crores we need to reduce by March 19. That would be our target. That means we will bring down the net NPA, gross NPAs less than 10,000 crores. So that would be roughly around 16% as compared to the gross advances level. Similarly, net NPAs, we have been able to bring it to 10% now. So we propose to bring it below 9%, definitely between 6 to 9%, because PCA banks, we have 3 buckets as you are aware. So we want to move from 9 to 12 bucket to 6 to 9 bucket by the March ending quarter. And of course, now after 1st April, we will not be staying as the Dena Bank independent entity. But hypothetically, assuming that we continue, by June 19, I think we should be able to bring the net NPA level less than 6%. Okay. So that is our target. By March 19, our target is to reach somewhere around 8.5% net NPA.
Okay, Mr. Shekhar, I wanted to know if you all have sat...
Loss was 417 crores in September 18.
Yes, go ahead, sir.
Yeah. So December it was net NPA loss was September 18, loss was 417 crores. So that we were able to bring it down to 178 by December 18. So March 19, we plan to make some small profit. If we miss in March 19, definitely June 19 we would have made some profit. But March 19 itself we are trying. So we need to see.
Okay, that's a great aim, sir. Before you stop being Dena Bank and an amalgamated entity. No, I wanted to ask if you all have sat with Vijaya Bank and BOB.
No, actually, and, once the amalgamation was announced,
Mr. Shekhar, please let me finish my question. You know, have you all sat with BOB and Vijaya Bank and looked at whether you all have marked all the loans similarly? After the amalgamation, will there be other loans which will have to be rediscovered and marked? Or are you all on the same page?
We have done that exercise. We have already done. Once the amalgamation was announced, all 3 banks, of course, Vijaya Bank, they don't have much corporate credit exposure to corporates. But all 3 of us, we sat together and we have done that harmonization of the provisions. Classification-wise, there is no issue. And provisioning, there were some differences. Those provisioning differences we have adjusted in the December 18 quarter. So percentage provision for all the common assets, it is at the same level now. So that disparity will not be there going forward.
Okay.
So that harmonization we have already done.
Sure.
Classification and the provisioning, both.
You did mention that your net NPA target is to come down to 6%. Do you have any loan growth target? I know once the amalgamated entity is formed, then the targets will be different. But up until then, because this time, your loan book is down almost about 10% year on year.
Correct. Now loan book after the PC announcement in the year 18 March, so we have contracting since then. Every quarter, Dena Bank's book has been contracting. Of course, deposits stayed as it is. So whatever deposits we have, surplus deposits we have mobilized and we have put it in the investments. But advances growth was not there. Actually, advances have contracted. So therefore, in the light of that, improvement in gross NPA percentage and net NPA percentage is more significant actually. Because if the same base had continued, the percentage terms, it would not even 19%, it would be 17% even as on December 18.
Okay.
But because of the PCA, we could not expand, and on the contrary, we have contracted the balance sheet in the last almost 7 quarters.
Okay. Finally, sir, I wanted to know if you all have also sat and looked at common branch locations, and therefore, what percentage of branch reduction are you likely to see after the amalgamation?
Branch reduction may not be there because we have done a detailed exercise geography wise, and 4-5 geographies we have already completed. So there we see maybe 1 or 2 excess branches we may relocate, but actual closure or reduction in number of branches will not be there. That's what we have seen, especially in the rural areas. There is no question. But urban, wherever we have common location branches, both Bank of Baroda and Dena Bank, then we may have to relocate the branches, but closure of the branches, as of now, we are not thinking of any. Okay. And there may not be any need also, because we are at some places we have this duplicity, but some places we don't have, so we will relocate at best.
All right,
sir.
so we'll let you go on that note. Thank you so much for joining us. By the way, Reliance Communications is down another 20%. Of course, the base now is just a 6 rupee stock, but nevertheless, look at the damage. Reliance Power, Reliance Naval, Reliance Communication, all down about 20% apiece. We'll talk about that in greater detail on the other side of the break. When we come back, the latest commodity trades also lined up with our commodities editor, Manisha Gupta. Stay tuned.